Welcome back to the show today. We are talking about all of LeBron's rivals over his 21-year career, which he might actually have more rivals after this, I don't know. We're talking about the ones that gave him the least amount of trouble all the way to the ones that beat him multiple times in the finals. But let's start with some honorable mentions first. Let's go with Derrick Rose. I know y'all love Derrick Rose. Most of this rivalry existed in the 2010-2011 season. This is the season that Derrick Rose won the NBA MVP. And just like about every other season in the NBA, there's always one person who got robbed. And in 2011, the guy that allegedly got robbed was LeBron James. LeBron had a better stat line in basically all metrics except for assists, and he was only off by 0.07 assists, less than 1 assist. But D Rose and the Bulls beat the Miami Heat every time they met them in the regular season, which matters. And the Bulls finished top in the East. They had a better record than the Miami Heat. Also, generally, voters like giving the MVP award to different players every year. This is a strange phenomenon that I can't explain. Like LeBron could have got the MVP over Kobe in 2008, Jordan could have got the MVP over Karl Malone in 1997, and Shaq probably should have got the 2001 MVP and won back-to-back, but they gave it to AI. Shaq got his though because the Lakers stomped the Philadelphia 76ers and Allen Iverson in the finals that year. Also, LeBron got his as well that 2011 season. The Heat met the Chicago Bulls in the playoffs and beat them 4-1. The next honorable mention is Paul George. Mainly what I'm referring to is the Pacers-Heat rivalry, not the Clippers-LA Lakers rivalry, because unfortunately, we've never seen those two teams fight each other in the playoffs. The first time we saw these two face off in the playoffs was in 2012, but the most important time was in 2013 in the Eastern Conference Finals when we got this back-to-back play.
Here comes George, got the step and swoops one move and counts on the foul. Final seconds of the third. Here's James with a long three.
This is going to be good between these two players.
I always love it when two people who are at the top of what they do recognize each other and they're grateful for pushing each other further than they thought they could go. The Pacers almost had the Heat, taking them to 7 games. But unfortunately, George and the Pacers lost to the Miami Heat and LeBron 3 different times in the playoffs. But in the summer of 2014, while playing for Team USA, Paul George suffered the most gnarly ankle injury I've ever seen in a basketball game. And this totally derailed that rivalry. And I gotta say, Paul George's comeback was as impressive as his ankle injury was gnarly. And it's not too late for this rivalry to be reignited. Maybe this postseason we'll get the Clippers-Lakers showdown that we've always wanted. Now let's get to the real rivalries. No more honorable mentions. Starting with Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce and LeBron James played each other 69 times in their careers. Nice. LeBron won more of the games, but it's literally as close as it can be by 35-34 LeBron. They met 5 times in the playoffs, with Pierce winning the first 2 and LeBron winning the last 3 with the Miami Heat. Those first 2 that Pierce won were while LeBron was still in Cleveland for the first time. And Pierce believes that he was the reason that LeBron packed up and went to Miami, which he isn't wrong, but like my mother always said, never toot your own horn, Paul Pierce. But LeBron did toot Paul Pierce's horn too, when he reluctantly said that throughout his career the Boston Celtics were his rivals, and if he had to pick one player, it'd be Paul Pierce. This was in 2012 though, and LeBron said a couple years later that he didn't really feel that way about the Celtics anymore. He said he was more interested in playing better players, which may have prompted this preseason body check by Paul Pierce.
Ball corralled by James. Sort it down, waste time. A locomotive just gets shoved by...
Still, Pierce believes he was LeBron's biggest rival throughout his entire career.
And who is LeBron's individual greatest career rival?
It's me, of course. No one has had more playoff battles and more meaningful games than me and LeBron. So how could it be nobody but me?
It's a no-brainer, 5 playoff series. They both played for different teams. It was Cavs Celtics, Heat Celtics.
That's an easy one.
This was in 2019, so he probably feels the same way. I don't know if Brian Windhorst does though. I think the best game we got from this rivalry was Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2008, where LeBron dropped 44 and Paul Pierce dropped 41, but Paul Pierce clinched the game with 2 free throws. Then there's the game that is known as LeBron's best game. I'm talking about the Eastern Conference Finals in 2012, Game 6, where LeBron's Heat were facing elimination. LeBron had 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists to will his team to victory. Obviously, LeBron went on to win the Eastern Conference Finals, and then he went on to win the Finals. The second most important rivalry in LeBron's career is him and Kevin Durant. I think the initial part of this rivalry was when OKC and the Heat met in 2012 in the Finals. So the year before, in 2011, the Mavericks had beat the Heat in the Finals. So the Heat were still looking for that first title out of the 8 that they promised.
Not 1, championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
OKC lost to the Heat in 5 games, and LeBron won his first championship. This would have been a really incredible moment because that OKC team was young. You had Westbrook, Harden, Durant, all young guys, and the Heat were full of vets. If OKC had won, it would have proven that that Heat super team was a failure. It was not a failure, obviously, because the Heat went on to win and then win again the following year. And Durant never made it back to the NBA Finals with the OKC Thunder because they ran into the Spurs, and then they ran into a team that did what the OKC Thunder couldn't do. They ran into the Golden State Warriors, who beat LeBron in the finals in 2015. The following year, the Warriors lost to the Cavs in the finals, 2016. You all know this, alright? So Durant decided he wanted to win and he didn't really care how he had to do it. So he signed as a free agent to the Warriors that offseason. I think this is one of the biggest testaments to LeBron's dominance in the NBA, and it's a very important piece of NBA history. It wasn't the first time we saw a star player put down his ego and be a cog in a big machine, so he could accomplish something bigger than himself. That's the most poetic way I can think to say join a super team, but it is the most profound example. LeBron's 2 biggest rivals, spoiler alert, had to join up to defeat him. Pretty cool for LeBron to have to force that to happen. Pretty cool for KD to join another guy's team. Pretty cool for Steph to welcome KD as the first scoring option. Durant and the Warriors defeated LeBron and the Cavs twice in the finals after that, which makes Durant LeBron's second biggest rival, only to the guy that beat him 3 times in the finals, Steph Curry. Steph and LeBron have met each other in the finals 4 times, which is more than any other player. Steph has won 3 of those times though, which is more than Duncan and more than Durant, who beat him twice. Steph, in my opinion, is the only player who really posed a threat to being the face of the NBA during LeBron's career. While Curry didn't have the sustained success that LeBron had, he did change the game with his prolific and efficient 3-point scoring style. So during Curry's 2 MVP seasons, that's where he kind of peaked, and I would arguably say that Steph's peak was maybe higher than LeBron's. Arguably, that's what I'm saying, is maybe you can make the case. LeBron and Steph have a lot of respect for each other, and from what I can tell, they're friends. LeBron even showed Steph ultimate respect by picking him twice for his All-Star team. While these guys clearly seem to respect and like each other, when they're on the court, they hate each other. They're constantly fighting. LeBron fights with the whole Dubs team, actually. If you didn't know better, you'd swear these guys hated each other.
Warriors. Oh, LeBron with a shoot. Said, we're playing like we won a championship, and Golden State is playing like they are.
I pulled that video from an 8-minute compilation of LeBron and Steph getting in fights on the court. Even though right now they're tied for the amount of rings and Steph is the most recent champion of the 2, I still think LeBron is on top right now because LeBron and the Lakers beat the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs last year. A quick non sequitur, because maybe you don't know this, but LeBron and Steph were born in the same hospital. It's really neither here nor there, but you gotta admit, that's weird. Just think about it for a second. So Del Curry, Steph's dad, was playing for the Cavs at the time, but he wasn't born in Cleveland. He was born in Akron. If you think about it, before we even knew who these guys' names were, Akron General Medical Center was the birthplace of the 2 best basketball players in the 21st century. That's weird, right? Alright, that's it. I didn't say Tim Duncan. I didn't say Carmelo Anthony, or someone else maybe I left off. Let me know. I always reply. Be good to your like the video. Please like the video. Be good to your mothers. Eat a corn dog.